everyone, it's Rambling Hour with Lisa, Season 13, Episode 7, coming to you live from the living room. I hope everyone is well. I can smile and pretend I am, but I am still sick. Not as sick as I was last week. Last Sunday was like a stay in bed kind of sick. Today is more of a... this now, like, I can't complain because so many people have this. There's a thing called the 100-day cough, which Aurora's been suffering from, and Steve has it, and I know other people have it too. So Melody says hello. Hello, Melody. So people in Canada and here and everyone are suffering with these different new strains of COVID, or the 100-day cough, or whatever's going around. So I can't complain like I'm the only one going through it, but last week was like a stay in bed, too sick to do anything. Today and the last few days is like just enough of feeling like shit to be annoyed, but still able to slowly get things done. Although still, I have put like all the Christmas decorations like into the dining room, but I haven't brought down the bins from the loft to put them back in their boxes and everything, so that in the next couple days I'll do that. But it's just like the idea of it is exhausting when you don't feel well. So I also never did get to reading my children's Christmas stories. I was going to do that on Ukrainian Christmas last Sunday, but it didn't happen because I was sick. So I'm just going to keep those stories that I chose for next year and read them as my stories next year. I probably should have brought a lozenger. I'm good during the day, but at night when I'm trying to sleep, I need a lozenger because you get this like, last night it was like almost like my throat was itchy, and then you get like or like there's something stuck in there, and again it's just enough of a tickle or an itch or whatever, just so that you're either coughing or you can't like swallow properly. So it was hard to sleep, so I have to sleep with the lozenger tucked in my cheek like a squirrel. Yeah, so I probably should have brought a lozenger just because I don't know how it'll be with me talking for an hour. However, I just figured that, I never stopped talking. Even the day I got 4 wisdom teeth taken out, they said that I might not be very talkative for a few days. I was talking on the phone the same day, but that was a teenage girl. What can you do? So not very often that I won't talk. So there's no reason, even if I just sit here not moving, so I'm just being a sloth anyways, there's no reason that I can't. Isn't it funny if my body could move as fast as my mouth? But yeah, so I missed you guys. We did some Christmas specials, so we haven't had like an episode like this where it's just chatting back and forth. I'm looking forward to a new year with new guests and old guests coming back and whatever we have in store. This is a brand new amaryllis that I got this year, so that's why it's got these beautiful flowers. Whoa, I have not in my life so far been able to, I have kept amaryllis alive for years, but I've not been able to get them to rebloom yet. So I'm trying to do the fertilizing and trying to get them to rebloom. But this is my latest one that I bought this year. And I bought it mostly because I really liked the bowl it came in. But I didn't actually plant it in a bowl. It's in a little pot so that I can take it out. Anyways, that's my display because it's blooming really lovely right now, so it'll make a good thing. And yes, so let's talk. How has your Christmas been? How's your New Year's been? If you celebrate Christmas, if not, most people would celebrate New Year's, or at least accept that it's a new year. Was 2023 what you expected it to be? Has 2024 treated you well so far? It is already the 13th of January. No, the 14th of January, which is halfway through January. Melody says everything was good. That's good to hear. Again, I know the same thing in this house. Like, we did have a good Christmas. We did have a good New Year's, but there's just a lot of this kind of sickness going around. So if it's not one person, it's another, or like right now, it's basically the whole house is sick to some degree. So, Melody says, so far so good. That's good. How many times have you wrote 2023 on something so far instead of 2024? I went to the bank for something. It was probably the only thing that really mattered that I got the right date on, and that was the only thing that I put the wrong date on. Everything else I've been thinking and make sure that I write the right date. When I was at the bank, I just wrote it real quick, signed my name, wrote the date real quick, and then he was like, this is, you need to, so I just like scratch it out, put the right date, and then initial. So, I did have some New Year's resolutions. I put them up. I can't remember what they are exactly right now, but it's basically just to, try and be an even better version of myself in some way, just to keep working on things. So, yesterday was our daughter Allison's 20th birthday. She is my first biological, so she's the one that made me a mom. And I can't believe it's been 2 decades already. That's crazy. So what else is new? Me and Steve are getting, well, I'm not at my biggest, but he's quite hefty and I am not far behind, and we have not been taking our eating seriously and stuff for a long time. So actually tomorrow is our first day of eating healthy, and this has nothing to do with the new year. We've been needing to get back on this for a while, but it always seems to be like somebody's birthday or somebody's blah, blah, blah. So whatever. Yesterday when we went shopping, we had a Burger King. And then after Allison and them had pizza for dinner, but then we did like Allison's birthday and we had cake. And that's it. Today we had a bit of cake. We had stew for dinner, a nice beef stew that Steve made. And he made it, 2 reasons he made it with the potatoes outside of it is, one, because in the Ninja 9-in-1, the crock pot, slow cooker, pressure cooker, whatever you want to use it for, it's only so big. It's big, but I mean, we have a big family and we like making things in big batches so we can freeze them for his lunches or whatever. And so the potatoes don't usually fit in there, so we make them separate. But the other good thing is that even now that it's both cooked, he didn't add potatoes, and this makes sense because for a few weeks we're going to go low to no carbs just to boost our, start on our well, we're going to be working out as well, but start on our journey again. And so then you don't put the potatoes in, then that makes it low carb. So that's good. And I know that there's some people who don't care about working out, and there's some people who might not have the best body, what's it called? But anyways, it's just like everything else in my life with like the spiritual stuff, the gardening stuff. Some people would be bored if all I talked about was gardening stuff, but I'm going to tell, because this is all about me, I'm going to, every week or so, I'm going to touch on those certain topics that are important to me. And more than just working out and looking good, it's about health and stuff too. And we can tell how bloated we feel, or like how your body is just so different when you're not eating right or drinking right, like water or liquids that will help your body instead of hinder it. So there's many reasons, but I am still going to touch base every week or so about our journey. I'm not going to go on and on the whole episode about it, but I'm definitely going to tell you what we've been up to and what we're doing differently or whatever. But we are starting tomorrow for reals. And I know me and Steve have this. Like, as soon as we make up our mind about something, and I also know that we have willpower, and we're both stubborn as, so I know that both of us, especially if we make it a competition with each other, we will keep each other in check. So wish us luck, and I'll keep you updated on that. Melody says, just say Candace is going to eat lunch. I will watch you later. Okay, love you, Mel. Say hi to Candace. Have fun, and bye. So even if you tried to watch me last week, like I said, I was sick last Sunday, and then the Sundays before, it was like New Year's Day, was it? And then the Christmas Day, the Sunday before, so I didn't even bother doing lives. I just assumed people would be busy, as was I, so. But here I am, back, and this is one of my Christmas gifts. It's one of my favorite ones. This is from Allison. I can't tell you, we have so many blankets, and I know I like putting them out for different seasons, but I cannot tell you how soft this one is, and it's thicker than others. And while I've been sick, and in the mornings during the week, if I have to come downstairs for the puppy Sasha, it's just easier than listening to her howl while I'm upstairs in bed. I've been sleeping on the couch here, and I've just layered the blankets, and this one is There's this one too, and this one looks nice, and it is soft, but this one is like a softness that I cannot describe. The pattern is great. I am becoming the old lady with all the floral patterns. Sorry. And I love it. And then these pillows are really soft too, so it wasn't that bad sleeping on the couch. Speaking of which, that is in our manifesting New Year plan, is to get a new couch in this facility, this living room. So I'm gonna start calling it the McFurlong Tour. So I just listen to so many podcasts and different things, and they talk about going on tour, or they're gonna have live shows and blah blah blah. And then I was thinking about me and Steve and how we're like, and the kids, how we're going to Canada for the summer, and I'd like to spend some time in Ontario to see all of our friends there. Him and I both have friends there that I haven't seen in years. And he hasn't seen in years. I haven't seen him in even longer years. So Ontario, and then even when we went to Canada in 2019, we did the same thing. Like we hit Saskatchewan, Prince Albert area. We hit Grand Prairie. We hit Edmonton. You know, like so that everybody can see us in the different locations. Excuse me, so we can fit as many loved ones in. To Steve, it might be a holiday. To me, it's catching up with friends and family and trying to fit everybody in. So I want to hit those spots. So what I'm going to refer to it is because me and Steve are furlongs, but the girls are still McDermott's, and it's, yeah, I'll just call it the McFurlong Tour. And I will let you know if we're coming to a city near you in the summer of 2024. And it will be very exciting. I'll let you guys know what dates we're going to do. And I'll try and do a thing in each place that we're going. Like whether it's like just a little village hall or somewhere that we can gather together. Even if it's like an all day thing where people just show up for a little bit if they can. Or all day if they can. Or whatever. So that we've already made it to Canada. It just would require the people there to kind of travel to the closest place to them to visit us, instead of us trying to go to all these individual places to see everyone. Boy, my throat is sore. In other interesting news that doesn't really pertain to me, but my ex-husband, the 3 girls' biological father, has moved across Canada, which I only found this out recently. So he lives in the Maritimes now, and he is going to be yet again a father to a daughter. So congratulations to him and his girlfriend on their pregnancy. And I think the baby's gonna be born in like March or April. I can't remember and don't really care. But so the girls here will have a biological little sister, half sister, that's gonna be born. So 2018. 15, and then a newborn. So hopefully he, is a better father second time around, but whatever. Again, it doesn't affect me. 2 of these girls are adults. The other one is 15. Luckily, when we go to Canada, her birthday's July 3rd, and like I said, we'll be there. So kids in school here, they go to school until like mid-July. So last time when we went in 2019, we couldn't go until after school was out. But Erica's on her last year of high school, and so she has exams. But because when she does her exams, she'll be done earlier than the rest of the years. So she'll probably be done by the end of June. So giving us all of July and August to be in Canada if we wanted. And so Erica turns 16 on July 3rd. We have to go and renew the passports. Luckily, if you're 16 in Canada, then you don't need the other parent's signature to get the passport. So, yay. So, I don't have to get Michael to get there to sign for passports anymore because the other 2 are adults. They're going to get adult passports, which means that they can be good for 10 years. So they won't have to get a new one in 5 years. And Erica will still have a kid's 5-year passport, but because she's 16, she won't need all the parent signatures, so it'll just make things that much easier. And yeah. What else can I tell you? Oh, visa. So I haven't talked to you guys about the visa. That was after Christmas, which is another reason that, I haven't been on and everything else. Just there's been a lot to do at once. Our old visas were up January 6th. So technically, we don't have a visa right now, but that doesn't mean that we're staying here illegally or that we're overstayers. Because I got the application in on the 4th online, So the application was in before our old ones expired. Now we just tick tock. Wait, I uploaded all the accompanying documents to the site. That it's cool because they give you the options. Like if you know how to scan and make them into PDFs or do whatever, then you're able to upload them to the site to send the documents that way. If you're not, you can pay. Isn't it nice to pay more money to get them, to scan them, to get them to, you know, or you bring them in. So anyways, luckily I know how to do all that stuff, so I could do it for free. Then we have to go for our meeting where that's where you would bring the stuff to get scanned or whatever. But that day we all have to go to get our biometrics done for our visa. Like with the picture on it and stuff, and your fingerprints and your picture, whatever, biometrics, that's what it is. You guys may or may not have done biometrics now for your passports if you've gotten a new passport. So I think February 7th is our day that I chose for our meeting, and I think, is it in Manchester? See, I was going to do Liverpool so we could just go shopping for a day in Liverpool, but they didn't have any appointments available, so I think I chose Manchester. Either way, it's downtown in a city, so I tried to make it where it wasn't like totally crazy with traffic. Anyways, that's the next process in the visa, is just waiting for approval on the application, but in the meantime, we have to go and get our biometrics done. And then after that, you just wait until they tell us if it's approved or not. And hopefully I've sent in all the information based on the last one that we did 2.5 years ago. I should have put in all the proper information, or they already have it. And yeah, so visa is done. I can just breathe a little bit. Gardening news. Yes, I do have a big, mighty, awesome greenhouse and a polytunnel, and I'm trying to keep things alive with our below zero nights now. But I haven't been out in the greenhouse lots because, like, Christmas decorations, enjoying the house, and I don't like being outside when it's, like, cold and stuff. But, and the other thing is, like, I'm kind of, like, besides the fact that I'm trying to love what I have and enjoy what I have, so I am trying to love my houseplants and take care of them and be a good houseplant mom, I also am not starting any seedlings or doing too much craziness, because this is kind of a year off with all that stuff, because I know we're going to be gone for so long in the summertime, and I'm already going to have to get somebody to water what I have and take care of what I have, that I don't want to add more to that. So I don't want to be buying any more plants, whether it's for outside or inside. I don't want to, propagate any plants really unless they need to be propagated, and I definitely don't want to start any seedlings this year. So that is where gardening and stuff is. But I have just been working my little tail off. I'm so happy. I told you guys this before, like last year, that when the electrician came to put electricity to not only the greenhouse, but to the loft. So now, because that is my hidey hole where all of my storage goes, and I can organize everything, and I can make the house look very simple, a couple cushions, a couple blankets, make it look like I don't have much stuff, but really I'm hoarding all my stuff up there for the different seasons and everything else, and I love that there's lights up there now because I can get even more organized. The other thing is that I'm still, one of my New Year's resolutions was the same as previous, is love it, use it or lose it. Love it or leave it. Kind of the same thing. Use it or lose it. So even though I say that I'm hoarding lots of stuff up there, having lights up there and getting to be organized will help me better figure out what stuff I want to keep and what stuff I want to get rid of. Because if I'm, like, say Christmas decorations, if I'm bringing them down and I'm using them even once a year, that means that I'm using those things and they're worth keeping. But if there's things that are just sitting there and I'm not, but saying that is, it's hard because, like, I've just cleaned the office, like, top to bottom. I'm changing it, making it look nicer in there. And I haven't broke out the sewing machine yet, but, and Steve may or may not know because I put it on the long desk in there and I'm having a spot for it. So I'm going to break out the sewing machine, and then I have a place for the Cricut machine so that I can do more scrapbooking and crafts, and I can do sewing that needs to be done in, because Steve bought me that sewing machine like a year or two ago and I haven't even taken it out of the box. I love that it's a new sewing machine. I'm excited about what it can do, but I'm scared because they changed the way the bobbin works in it, and when I borrowed Owen's little sewing machine, the way the bobbin is, I just don't understand it. So it's just, I guess it's like an old thing right now when you get old and there's new technology and you got to figure it out. So I'm just scared about that, but I'm not going to let it stop me. But my point was that there is some things that I haven't touched in a while. Like, how long has it been since I've done crafts or scrapbooking? And when we did the crafts at Christmas, you know that some of my paints weren't good anymore. And some of these things, like my heat gun, like I haven't used them in years, but the intention is there. And I've even said, like with the kids, I remember when they were younger and they would be frustrated with me for taking so many pictures of them. But I said, I'm going to scrapbook, when you guys get older and I have more time, I'm going to scrapbook. So I am still so grateful that I've taken so many pictures of them growing up, because once you have that empty nest, I don't know, I am like, there's people who are bored and have nothing to do at home and don't know what to do with their spare time, if they even have any. And I'm like, I have so many things that I would love to do if I had more time. There's more things that I want to do in this life than I have time for, even if I had all the time to myself to do whatever I wanted to. But I'm excited to do the sewing that I needed to do, or even new projects. I'm excited to do crafting and everything else, and it's just way easier in a clean, organized office. But not only that, it's the same thing. Every room that I clean, when I go back through each part of the house or whatever, or the caravan, I clean the caravan. Was that before Christmas? Yeah, I think it was like a couple days before Christmas that I worked on things in the caravan. The more I clean, the more stuff I'm ready to let go. And as I told you guys before, my biggest problem now, being a hoarder and a pack rat and having those attachments to material possessions, you can't just come in here and take things and get rid of them for me. But my biggest problem now is not just the getting rid of the things, it's where are they going? And I do not have the heart to just put things in a skip or a dumpster if you're American and see it go to landfill. Especially if it, like, what about like all the water bottles and everything, right? We have so many like water bottles and reusable cups, and I'm all into have steak stuck in my teeth, like beef from the beef stew. I don't have very many teeth left, but the ones I do have are still tight together. Anyways, hence the nickname Pepper Tooth, because I get pepper stuck in my teeth. That was my nickname for my little sister Tina, and it stuck just like the pepper. So, yes, getting rid of things, don't want them to go to landfill. All the water bottles, like, I need the kids to go through them and be like, hey, so say like the princess ones from when they were little. Are we going to put these away in your memory boxes? Are we going to give these to like Samantha's kids, like Danielle, if she wants them? Or are we going to donate them, recycle them, whatever? Like, but if they're in like pristine condition, but we just don't have the room for them, or they don't want them anymore, what do? I just do not have the heart to put things in landfill. If I give things to a charity shop and then they put them in landfill, I can't help that. That's on them. But for me and my karma and my mind, I just don't have the heart to put things into landfill. But I'm trying to use things, try to get rid of things that we don't need or don't want. And I am trying to have a more simple life. But like I said, like even these pillows. Okay, I am not attached to these pillows. The pillowcases, this is my first year using them. But I'm not going to get rid of them because they're lovely, they're soft, they're white and clean, and they look good. And I decorate for the different seasons. But I don't have a sentimental attachment to them. It wouldn't be the end of the world if I didn't have them. But actually, I don't buy pillows anymore. I try just to buy the pillowcase, the covers, so that, yeah, because I already have enough pillows. I just need to put covers on. Like this one is an older one, and I like it. It's like shaggy, and it always reminded me of snow, but breaking out the old sewing machine. Oh, I thought there was, oh, maybe there's not. I thought there was a place on it that the seam was ripped. But I'm just saying, that one, you know, the cover could maybe go. It doesn't need to, but there's so many things that I'm not attached to that way. And that's the other thing that I'd like to go through so that if I die, what things do my family know that mean something to me, are sentimental or heirlooms or whatever, and what things are just get rid of them. But in the meantime, while I'm still alive, I like my things and I'm keeping my things. So, my family's good in Canada. From what I've heard, everybody's good. Everybody's good here. It was a lovely Christmas time, like not necessarily just Christmas Day, but in the Christmas season, we got to see all of Steve's family. A few weeks before that, we even went and had dinner with his auntie and uncle, and that was nice. What have we been watching? Oh, we watched this 4-part series on, it's called Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. And it had to do with like the Royal Mail, the post office here in the UK, and how they rolled out these new machines. I think it was in the 90s. These new computerized machines with a program called Horizon, and it was showing that the way that the post system works here, I don't think it's the same in Canada. Basically, you have to be like a certified postmaster, and then you have your own post office that you work out of, and you're responsible for everything that happens there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know a few people in the village of Meath Park, where I lived for 7 years, that they worked at the post office, so maybe it is different maybe it's the same in Canada, I don't know. But anyway, so the postmasters at their post offices are responsible for what goes on there. They implemented these new machines that were like digital, like putting in your accounts digitally instead of doing your accounts by paper. And when they were putting in the sums of what they made, because you know how post offices, this is the same in Canada as well, like you can buy money orders and different things, so it's not just buying stamps. So once they put in like what they sold and how much money they have coming in and everything else, and they're putting their figures into this new program, and it was giving them the wrong figures and showing shortages that they were owing. And they were like, well, that doesn't make sense because I know how to do my books and I'm not short any money. But supposedly in their contracts, it says that they're responsible for any shortages, which when they signed their contracts, they didn't really mind, because even if they were short, as most people who've worked in retail or anything else with a till, sometimes you are like 2 cents or 2 pence short, or sometimes $2 or £2 short. And it's not very often if you're good with your money, but sometimes there's just like something that it's not working out. But most of the time it'll be pretty close, if not on, so then when you sign a contract like that, you're not worried about being responsible for the shortages, because there won't be any, because you're an honest person. Anyways, this happened to some people, and they were calling the office and saying they need help. The machine seems to not be working right, and they were like, well, you're responsible for your shortages, and nobody else seems to be having this problem, so it's obviously something you're doing. Well, they were telling everybody that no one else was having this problem. In the end, it was over like 7,000 people affected, I think. 500 that... 500 that, I can't remember what happened, and 136 or something, 100 and something went to prison, and 4 killed themselves. Like, it was this huge thing, and then it comes out, and things are still coming out now in the news, because they've had this program that, this mini-series that they aired about this, that now things are coming out that, like, the people who were investigating the post office knew about some of this, but there's, like, paybacks, or, like, it's so shady, so ridiculous, and the people who suffered and even went to prison or whatever, that had their livelihoods taken away and had their little villages or towns thinking they were a criminal, or became a criminal because they actually went to prison, some of them. Probably some of the best people that these people would know. Just the honest person who were... I'm not saying all of the postmasters were honest. There was a few that they found that they actually were shady and did do some things that weren't okay. But just think about that person that you know from your area who's like honest person, worked at the same job for like 30 years or more, and you just know that there's never been a problem with them. Now all of a sudden they're saying that they owe thousands. of pounds or dollars, and if they don't pay it, they're going to prison, so they have to remortgage their house, if they even have one that they own, or they have to like somehow come up with this money, or they're going to prison. And it was heartbreaking to watch this. And you're not surprised that 4 of them killed themselves. You're probably surprised that not more would have, like, your whole life turned upside down like that. And I guess it's the same as if you were accused of murder and you didn't do it, or other things. But it was just if you can get the series in Canada, it's called Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. It's heartbreaking, but it was worth watching. And it was so sad because I guess the way that the postal thing worked here too is that they investigated themselves, just like how the police used to be. Like, it's always shady when the only people who can investigate are internal. Like, you know, you always have to have an external place that can investigate. Anyway, so we watched that. We're watching Shetland, which I don't know. I'm guessing you guys can probably get in Canada. So Shetland is, like, Shetland Islands are up north of Scotland. And there's a bunch of little islands that are like little villages. So there's not a huge amount of people that live there. But, you know, still enough for drama, you know, small towns and everything. And I don't think there's probably as many murders as there is on this show. But they need the murders to make the show. So, but me and Steve keep joking when someone else dies. And we're like, oh, we should not visit Shetland. Too dangerous. Usually it's the bad guys, you know, like drug dealers or whatever, trying to bring drugs in, like on the ocean into the ports or whatever, but it's still that. But it is a good series, so we're watching Shetland. There's like 9 series or something of it, and we're only on 3 or 4. And then we also started watching a series called Based on a True Story with Kaylee Kuko. It is weird. It is, so like they decided to start they're like, she's a real crime junkie, so her and her husband decided to do a crime podcast, but there's real murders, and it's just, it's funny but bizarre, and it does seem to be getting better. We're like on episode 3 or 4 now, and yeah, or 5. Like, yeah, we are getting through it. And how many is there? I think there's 8 episodes, and I think this is only the first season of it. So what else have we watched? I watched a movie last night. It was made in the 80s, but I felt like it was older than that. It just came on the TV, and Steve had fallen asleep. I was coloring, and before we watched TV, first he was watching snooker, because the snooker tournaments are going on right now, like the championships or whatever is going on. So that he was watching snooker, and I was just finishing a coloring thing. I got a calendar for Christmas from my son Owen, and it's a coloring calendar, so every month you can color the picture that's on the, you know. And so I told Steve that I'm only going to color so my January picture I'll color in January, and that's it, because he gets mad when I'm like not paying attention to the TV and I have to ask him what happened and everything if I'm just coloring. So I did that. I finished it yesterday, so no more coloring for January, not before bed anyways, and until February. But anyways, I was coloring. He was watching snooker while he was waiting for me just to finish his picture, but he fell asleep. After the snooker was over, or no, maybe I shut it off. I don't know. Anyways, this movie came on the TV. And of course, have you ever like had that with a TV show or a movie where you weren't planning on watching it, but you kind of just got sucked into it? It was called Hope and Glory, and it was made in the 80s, but it was based on the Second World War, at the beginning of the war. It started, or just before the war it started, and it was like, the main character was this kid, Billy, who's like, I don't know, he's probably about 10, and his family. And I really liked it because I've seen a lot of war movies where it's like on the, like in the field, the front lines, the fighting, the, you know, different things like, but this was more like just a family in a street in England, because a lot of England was bombed in the war. Like Liverpool, Manchester, London, like there was lots of places that were actually bombed here. And so now, me living here for 9 years plus, it was very interesting to look at. I mean, this is before my parents were even born. They were born in 49, so they were born just after the war. But still, to look back and see some of the same streets and types of houses that we have now. And, I mean, technology might change, but family life doesn't change. We all just want to be warm, happy, fed, loved, you know. It was crazy to watch and see and put yourself in to their lives. Not only that, like I said, besides technology changing, life doesn't change much, especially in a war area, because even if you're at war right now, the technology goes out right away, right? You don't have power necessarily, or internet, or any of those things. So you're back to basics. And that's the other thing that was like hurt my heart, or pulled on my heart, is that I'm watching this movie about something that happened how many years ago? And nearly 100 years ago, but not quite. So, 80 years ago. See, I don't want to cry, but Israel bombing Palestine and Gaza bombing Israel, Ukraine, and Russia. It doesn't matter if you choose a side or not. There is good Russian people who are dying. There is obviously good Ukrainian people who are dying. There is good Israelites who are dying. There is obviously good Palestinians who are dying. And even in Gaza, there is good, I guess it would be Palestinian, Gazian, I don't know, that are dying. There's good people on both sides. There's bad people on both sides, but there's good people on both sides, and they're dying. And like, even in Germany and England, lots of people hated the Germans, but there's two things. There's bad people in Germany during the war. There's brainwashed people in Germany during the war who believe they're doing the right thing for their country because that's what they were led to believe. And they're not doing it in a way to just, that. And then there's good people who didn't believe all the stuff and don't want war. And it's just that there's no need for war, but it's still going on now. So while I'm watching this movie about something that happened 80 years ago, which you think we would learn from, there's people right now trying to find somewhere that they're not going to get bombed, trying to get through another night without heat or water or food. And it's called Hope and Glory, and it was really good. It wasn't a long movie, but it was nice to see a war movie from a different perspective as well, where it wasn't just about the front lines. It was about what life was like for just a regular family, whilst the men had to go fight, or, the women had to, and the boys, especially, like I said, it was based on Billy, this 10-year-old boy. Well, these boys, boys will be boys, like the rambunctiousness and that kind of stuff. Well, when there's no men around to discipline them, plus things are just chaotic because they're in a war place. Some of those boys needed a bit of disciplining. But, especially I said my biggest thing wasn't them playing in the rubble piles and everything else. It was more them finding unspent shells and unspent bullets and things and playing with those. That was just a bit scary. Anyways, Hope and Glory. It was a good movie. So what else? I don't know what else we've been watching, but yeah, see, I am, doesn't matter how sick I am still good at rambling. Sorry about the coughing, all my germs everywhere in this house, but so, what can I tell you guys? Just, like I said, I'm just going to have a bit of a simple few months, no crazy gardening plans. I'm just going to be planning for the McFurlong tour of Canada. We're not rich enough to go across to every province and do a year-long tour or something, but we will make a few stops, and I'm very excited to see so many of you, and I even believe some of you might be excited to see us. So I wish I could just pack up the whole family, all 6 kids and their spouses, and my Steve's parents and everybody to bring with us so you guys could meet them too, but they have to be responsible for themselves. So again, besides me and Steve and the girls, because I know that they need to renew their passports, I'm not sure who all is coming to Canada with us, so we'll see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's happened lately. No, just birthdays, the birthdays just keep coming. So on the 26th is Samantha's daughter Tyla. She'll be 16. And my husband Steve, he's going to be the big 60. So we have those birthdays soon. And like I said, Allison turned 20 yesterday. And then in February, Amy has a birthday. She'll be 32. There's October birthdays, me and Thomas. And then November was Owen. And then December is Christmas. January is New Year's and Allison. And it just never ends. There's always these things. But, even when I went to Burger King yesterday, going back to eating healthy and stuff like that. So with eating healthy or making better decisions, some of it is just about portion size. So say there is a birthday and we're going to have cake. That doesn't mean don't eat the cake. It means you can have a little smidge and it'll be a few bites, but you still get that flavor. You'll still enjoy it, as opposed to if you have no limits and you're just letting yourself eat half the cake. If you were allowed to. Trust me, I would. If it was a chocolate cake and I was allowed to, I would eat half the cake. Or carrot cake. We just got a little carrot cake for Allison. We got 4 little cakes yesterday because we want a carrot cake, and the only place really to get it besides making it, you can get little carrot cakes from some of the shops, or Costco has a big carrot cake, but we weren't going to drive all the way there. So we got 4 little cakes. We got carrot cake. We got coffee walnut cake. We got a blackcurrant and maybe raspberry. It was a white cake. And the 4th cake was it wasn't sticky toffee pudding. It was sticky toffee cake. So we got 4 little cakes. But anyways, yes, what I was saying is mindful eating. So when we went to Burger King yesterday, because I knew that it would be the last time we'd have Burger King for a while because we're going to be eating healthier and stuff, I mindfully ate. So you can do this even if you're not changing your portion sizes. Try to mindfully eat. And then you're talking about the wars and everything else and never knowing when things are going to, say that we're not going to be able to have avocados anymore, and you love avocados because of whatever. There's different things going on with plants and everything else. So just every bite you take, just taste it. Just enjoy it. What are you eating for? Are you eating not just to fuel your body and to sustain your life, but if you're eating things that you love for the flavor, then enjoy those flavors. The smells. Oh, I was smelling my burger from Burger King. You smell exactly how you're supposed to smell. I hope you taste just as good. And it did. But it was mindfully eating is totally different. And when you start making your portion sizes smaller, but also mindfully eating, I can tell you that a little smidge of cake that you have mindfully ate, where you have tasted every bite and smelt it and enjoyed it, you are going to have way better of a memory of that and feel better about that than you are about eating a huge piece that you just wolfed down and it tasted good, but you didn't really even think about the fact that you were eating it. So it's something to try. Just try some mindful eating this week and let me know next Sunday about your mindful eating. What did you eat? How did it taste? How did it smell? Did you savor each bite? Did you chew it more? Just have it in your mouth because you knew that you loved this. And imagine it was the last one you were allowed to have, or that something happens that, you can't get them anymore. So that's what your assignment is this week. It's 10 to 9. Let me scooch forward. Do you like my little toque, as we would call it in Canada? Here they call it a bobble hat. Cute. So, let me look at my time, my big fat finger. We're at 42 minutes, so we still have time to chat it up. The other reason I'm wearing a hat is because, honestly, I can't believe how much older it makes me look when my hair starts coming in. So, I need to do my roots, but I have the dye. I just don't feel good enough to care to do it. Isn't it funny, even showering when you're ill? I don't feel like showering, it's so much work. And then you get in the shower and it feels so good that you're I don't want to get out because getting out is so much work, plus the shower feels so nice. But I did this for you guys. I showered and did my hair, and my blankie came unfolded a little bit on the ground. I don't want it to get dirty because it's white as well. But I don't want to put it up in my room because I love having it down here for my afternoon snuggles, especially right now while I'm sick. Anyways, yes, let's chat it up for another 15 minutes. And what else is new? Book. I finished my book, that one that I was reading forever, Vision Trips in Crowded Rooms. So I finished that. So maybe next Sunday I will show you whatever I'm going to be reading next. And Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. The idea of if you're lying in bed reading sounds like an idea, like, oh, you have time to read if you're lying in bed. But the idea of trying to keep your eyes open and focus on a book while you're feeling like this is not as easy as you think. So, we'll see. Maybe I will read if I'm resting. But at the same time, someone like me can only rest so much. I know that, and it would be the advice that I would give to somebody else, that liquids and rest are very important when you're under the weather, because your body's not going to get better if you're not giving it time. Like, you need to let your outer body rest so that all the fighters inside can work to heal you. So I do have to so I have been sleeping in if I can. I've been trying to sleep, and I do not want to get out of bed until my body says, okay, you can get up for a few hours or whatever. So if I could sleep until 11, if I could sleep until 1, I've been doing that. But once that time comes, I'm like, I need to get something done today, even if it's slow, even if it's just me sitting in, like, I've been sitting in the office doing things at my desk, but like, then I'll put my head back and be like, and just rest for a bit and then do something. And at least it's something. I'm not pushing it because I want to get better. So, but I also know if this is anything like what the kids have and what Steve has, it's going to be lingering for a while. So I can't let everything go to shit, because, mums have too much work. Plus, someone like me who has so many obsessions and things. That's the other thing with plants, is I'm like, what does a house, I mean, not a house plant hoarder, but a hoarder of plants do if they're sick? Like, these plants rely on me just as much as the kids and the pets. So if I can't handle the plants on my worst days, or have people who can handle them for me on my worst days, then that means I have too many plants. I need to make sure that things are balanced, that if I need to, because we never know what's going to happen in life. So if I need to be off for a weekend because I'm sick, then I need to make sure that everything can still run smoothly, right? So that's something to take an inventory of in your life too. Do you have too much on your plate? If you had to be sick for 2 days to a week, would everything fall apart? What would you do if you were sick? Because we don't know what's going to happen in life. So make sure that you don't have too much on your plate, especially if it's not necessary. Like, there is things that are on my plate that are necessary. Like, say, like when I had to do the visa and stuff like that. Necessary. All the work that went into that, necessary for if I want to keep this family together and me and Steve together. Houseplants? I don't want them to die, and yes, it's a financial investment for the ones that I bought, but keeping them alive is not necessary. It's not it's not as important as other things, and I could just give the plants away or not buy anymore, and life will be okay. So, it's the priority things too. What is necessary? Where should your energy go? And are you spreading yourself too thin? I can tell you for sure that if I had to work a full-time job, my garden would not be as high maintenance, and my houseplants would not be as high maintenance as they are now. I would have a more low-maintenance garden where I could enjoy it and tinker a little bit, but not, like, my garden is very high maintenance. I have a lot of plants that require more love and attention only because I have that time to give to them. But what I'm trying to do, both for the fact that we're going to Canada for the summer, but also just so that I can do more scrapbooking or other things, or if something happens, I am trying to get it to more of a low maintenance, just, so that if I want to go crazy with seedlings one spring, then let's go crazy. But I want most of the garden just to be, like, in place, easier to maintain, and easy to get people to help me if I need it. So January, and then February is Valentine's Day. So whether you celebrate it or not, whether you believe in love or not, I like decorating for every season. So the Valentine's Day stuff. The difference is that I have, like, how many, like 14 bins of Christmas stuff. I have, like, 1 bin of Valentine's stuff, and that only became 1 bin, like, last year, because I figured that I should split. I used to have 1 bin that was half Valentine's and half St. Patrick's Day stuff. And now they each have their own bin. So that is a lot less stuff. So I might only decorate the living room for Valentine's Day and just leave the kitchen and stuff, like, just simple. instead of trying to spread the decorations out everywhere. Just have one room that's done like that. I thought about keeping out the winter stuff. Oh, that's not winter. The winter stuff. But the only reason that I left these here is because they're just winter. But like I said, because I haven't put all the Christmas stuff away yet. So I don't know if I'm going to leave out some winter things because it is still winter. Or if I'm just going to put all the winter stuff away with the Christmas stuff and just leave it either like simple and nothing, or Valentine's out here and the rest of the house simple and nothing. Oh, Steve bought me this really, really awesome grow light for Christmas. I was like planning on having like grow lights around the house in darker corners to see how well they do, but he bought me like a really nice one for in the greenhouse, and I'm like, yeah, but the greenhouse is like the place that least needs a grow light because it's the place that gets the most light out of anywhere. But if you're doing seedlings or things like, anyways, or like in the seasons, in the winter and stuff when there's less light, it's a really amazing light. I tried it out in the kitchen. And then he said he would rather not have houseplants than have houseplants everywhere with all these grow lights. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to like blend them in. Like, I don't want them looking tacky or anything. But if we have clip-on lights already that we're not using, it's use it or lose it, right? I was putting like grow light bulbs in and clip it on somewhere and see if it helps. So what works best, and that, anyways, that big grow light is going out in the greenhouse. So that's really cool. It's really bright too. So it might be enough of a light to use if I want to be out there when it gets dark out. But the little grow lights I'm using too. So yeah, I don't want to overdo it. I kind of feel the same way. Like, I don't want to overdo it with grow lights and have plants like everywhere. But there is some darker corners that could use a plant or something. And then if, you know, but I would like to, I'm still learning about which plants can be further away from the windows and still live their best life. And which ones, which corners either need a grow light or no plant at all. I heard today on something that they were talking about plants, like house plants, and they said a good way to remember it is the darker the leaf, the less light it needs. So if that's true, then that's good to know. I will look around and see what, you know, but I am still practicing with light. I don't have a light meter, but you know, you can look up to see how much light it wants, you know, which window to put it in, if it wants full sun, how many hours a day of light it wants and stuff like that. But I'm still tweaking those with the houseplants that I do have. Like I said, I don't want to buy any new ones until the ones that I have are thriving, all of them. And that is what you see in some people's houses, that they might only have 5 houseplants, but they're like old and gorgeous and happy. And I think that it would be better to have like 5 happy houseplants than to have 30 ones that don't look so good and aren't getting what they need. So I'm working on that, but I'm testing some grow light bulbs and some grow lights like that come already like plug into USB, and then the big one that I got for Christmas from Steve, it's going to go in the greenhouse. It's powerful and crazy. I have it above the kitchen sink right now. And again, that's not where it needs to be. I want more light at the kitchen sink, like where the window is and stuff there, because I want more light when I'm doing dishes. So I'd probably put some LEDs or something up in the window like ledge there to make the plants look nicer and to have more light when I'm doing dishes. But it doesn't have to be a grow light, because that is one of the best places in the house for plants, which is why my kitchen window is so full usually with plants. However, I want to see the pond through the window, so I don't have as many plants there as I used to have. But, yeah, so I don't need the grow light in the kitchen there, but that is just something else that's going on and exciting, is the different grow lights around the house, seeing how they're doing and how the plants are doing and loving it and seeing, yeah. So that's for my plant loving friends. Sorry, I see there's a box of dog treats that Thomas and Steve left like out over there, and sometimes they just they forget, and like that, if I leave that box there, hopefully I don't forget, but if that box stays there, the dogs will have that whole box and it'll be eaten. So I need to put that away. What else is new? I don't know if I have a theme for next Sunday, but you guys have the assignment of mindful eating. I left my Christmas kitchen live like pinned to the top of my Facebook, and it has like 259 views. That's crazy. So I don't know if that was because once other people watch it, then other people watch it, and then other people watch it. And I don't know if it's because I started with a big shot like further away so you see the beautiful, awesome kitchen, and that's what's bringing people in to watch it, or if it's just me and my awesome kitchen treats that I made for Christmas, or what is making people view that video. And I honestly still don't even know what counts as a view. I don't know what makes the numbers go up, and I'm not just doing this for the views. And I would rather, same thing with like the 5 great houseplants. I'd rather have 5 people who watch this regularly and enjoy me and us and this than have 300 views of people who checked it out for a few minutes but don't care. Yeah, so, but even if there's quality people who like this, and I know there's family and friends who I know enjoy these and miss me when I'm gone. And I miss you guys too, like not doing it for a couple weeks, and then also having the 2 that I did do last being about crafts and cooking. I didn't get just this rambling. And obviously there has been some people on live today, but not some days we just get going, don't we? We have the comments back and forth, and those are my favorite times when it's, if I have a topic that I'm rambling on and I sound like I know what I'm talking about and things go smooth like that, that's fine. But my favorite things is the interaction. And I love, it can be the same people every week, but it's really awesome when it's different people as well who have stopped in, and it's like a different take on things. And, you know, that's what I'm here for. For anybody who loves me and misses me, that wants to see me, same place, same time every week, you guys can drop in and say hi, and you know where I am. And then it's like we spent time together. As it says on the thing that I put before, it's like having a drink with an old friend. So cheers to you guys and to a new year. And we will see you guys next Sunday for episode 8 of season 13. I love you guys. I miss you guys. And I'm really glad to be back. And hopefully I'm feeling better. And hopefully you guys are all feeling good as well. And yes, have a great week. All right. Bye, guys.